I've just been out for my morning walk and the time is catching up. So before the fights kick off, I'm gonna do the co-main event and the feature fight. At least what should be the feature fight anyway, as far as I'm concerned. And I might break down another couple of cards on the main card, another couple of fights on the main card later. So Neil Magny against Shavkat Rakhmonov, that's the co-main event. That's a fight I think a lot of people are very excited about. Obviously Shavkat is quite a hot favourite. So just their details. Shavkat is 6'1", 27 years old, 15-0 record. He's 3-0 in the UFC, all finishes. His level of competition: Alex Cowboy Oliveira, first round submission; Michel Brazeras, second round submission; Carlson Harris, first round TKO. These are decent level of competition. Now, obviously, Neil Magny is a big step up. Neil Magny had been calling for the Hamza fight for some time. Obviously, Neil Magny thinks that there's something in his game that can defeat Hamza, and he got, I believe, a low-key version of Hamza. I'm not sure who is a better prospect, Hamza or Shavkat, but Shavkat doesn't get the hype that Hamza gets, but he's got a 15-0 record and all finishes, so for sure I can see them both fighting for the title one day, as well as Sean Brady. Those are the dark horses in the division. Shavkat is ranked number 15, Neil Magny is ranked number 10. Actually, if you look at Neil Magny's last 6 fights since 2020, he's 5-1. His only loss was by decision to Michael Chiesa. Some people argue that his decision wins over Max Griffin and Jeff Neal could have gone the other way. I had him beating Jeff Neal. Max Griffin was a close fight. Common opponent Alex Cowboy Oliveira, he dominated him, again decision. All his wins are pretty much decisions. I'm trying to think of his other two opponents. Robbie Lawler didn't look himself in that fight. He outpointed Robbie Lawler fairly easily, and Anthony Rocco Martin, who I believe is now in PFL now or something, but he was a decent fighter, again decision. So Neil Magny, all his fights have been decisions, and he's going to be tough to finish. He is going to be tough to finish. First round, I think Shavkat is going to outclass him, but there's not going to be too many openings because Neil Magny is 6'3" and he's a big welterweight, and the only people to finish him since 2016 have been Lorenz Larkin, Ponzinibbio and RDA, and those are different style of fighters than Shavkat. My honest prediction is 29-27 Shavkat. Shavkat takes the first round. I think Neil Magny, I get the feeling that Neil Magny, obviously all fighters believe that they can win, and Neil Magny potentially has some paths to victory because we haven't seen Shavkat against his level. So I think Neil Magny might make it interesting going into the third round, and then Shavkat's just going to take over, maybe even a 10-8 third round. 29-27 Shavkat, that's my prediction. Should that happen, it's going to be very interesting because usually the UFC don't like to match up undefeated prospects because they can meet at a future date. That's why it's interesting that Arman and Mateus are fighting in the main event. But if you look at the welterweight rankings now, a lot of guys are tied up. So I'm gonna say Shavkat for the win. What do you do with him next? Gilbert Burns is the type of guy, he's clearly not afraid of anyone. He gave Hamza fight of the year, so he's clearly not going to be afraid to take on Shavkat. I think you need to give Shavkat a 5-round main event after this to show that he can go 5 rounds. Shavkat against Gilbert, I don't think is in a rush. I think he's looking for the right opponent. Let's say you do that fight end of the year, beginning of next year, main event, fight night, UFC on ABC or whatever. I think winner of that fight can get a title shot. Because Gilbert Burns knows, like, if he beats a 16-0 Shavkat at that stage, he's getting a title shot, because some people think he beat Hamza. He gave Usman some problems. That's a fight I'd love to see, or Sean Brady. But I have a theory about Sean Brady, that there's been some trouble with Usman recently. Like, we don't know how the hand's gonna hold up. Is he gonna fight against Leon Edwards? There's no shame in it. He's been a dominant champion. If I'm the UFC, I'm keeping Sean Brady on standby, in case one of those guys pulls out, so you can have him fill in against Usman, or the interim for Leon, because he's ready to go now and he's looking for a fight. And if Edwards Usman goes ahead, I think you do Sean Brady against Shavkat main event. Like October, a couple of weeks before Abu Dhabi, because I believe that Hamza is going to face Belal Muhammad in the Abu Dhabi card, and then Neil Magny. What you do with him? 34 years of age, but he's interesting. He's a litmus test to get into the top 10 of the division. Lightweight, the welterweight division is on fire right now, because you've got the dark horses like Shavkat, Brady and Hamza, who in my opinion are either going to fight for the belt or be champion within the next 2 years, I would say. Depending of course on injuries and stuff, you never know. I think obviously Hamza's closer, he's only a win away. Shavkat and Sean Brady are only a win or two away as well. And you never know, like, crazy things have happened. Look at Michael Bisping, came in against short notice, and Luke Rockho's injuries happen. That's the unpredictability of the UFC. And like, they were talking about making Hamza Leon the interim title before. I hope Usman makes it to the fight. I think it's an interesting stylistic fight against Leon Edwards. But let's say, God forbid, Usman doesn't make it, Sean Brady stays ready. I think Sean Brady, he has a very good chance against Leon Edwards. I think he's a tough matchup for Leon Edwards. So, the welterweight division is very interesting right now, and I have a feeling a lot of very interesting things, are gonna happen within the next year or two. Neil Magny, the most logical opponents to give him are people in and around the periphery of the rankings. I have 3 suggestions. Daniel Rodriguez, you can give him D-Rod, around like maybe prelim headline or MSG card, something like that. Michelle Pereira, fight night co-main event sometime towards the end of the year, or Jake Matthews again, main card end of the year. That's my prediction. The welterweight division is on fire right now. I'm going Shavkat, but Neil Magny will be difficult to finish.